Okay, so I just found this at a local Big Lots. It is a clearance item, $12.99 Art and Sound HD camera. Um, Full disclosure, I actually work at a Big Lots in a furniture department. I happen to have a $10 gift card that I had for something from working the holidays, I think. With my discount, I ended up paying, with the $10 card, my discount, I ended up having a 79-cent remainder on this. So this camera cost me 79 cents. And it was originally $25. The reason why I didn't get that, I don't know if you could read that there. It should come through. It says that the resolution is only 480 pixels. Now, this is kind of confusing because if you check our website, the pictured camera clearly says HD 1080p. This is also echoed in the actual spec chart on the website as well. And I verified that these are the same cameras because they have the same SKU number, 810-551-527. So, for 79 cents, I mean, I can't complain one way or another of how this goes. I'm actually going to compare it against my little GoPro Hero 7 white. This is already the black sheep of the GoPro 7 series. But honestly, my girlfriend bought it to record gigs that she was doing and ended up selling it to me for $80. So at that price point, it's a great little camera. I've had no problems with it so far. But let's see how the Art and Sound compares. Okay, so this is basically the difference between at the time I think these were $300 cameras versus a $25 camera. It's an unfair comparison, to be honest. But hey man, for 75 cents, I am not going to complain one bit. Okay, so this is basically the difference between at the time I think these were $300 cameras versus a $25 camera. It's an unfair comparison, to be honest. But hey man, for 75 cents, I am not going to complain one bit. I'm not expecting much out of the microphone. You can already see the Art and Sound has a much higher zoom rate. I'm not expecting much out of the microphone. You can already see the Art and Sound has a much higher zoom rate. Yeah, it's very limited in what it is, but honestly, I think I could find some use for it. So the first win here is the fact that it's a decent camera for what it is. It's definitely cheap enough where you can see here it actually fits into the Hero 7 casing. The lens fits right in. I've already done test pictures with it. The little switches designed for the GoPro don't work, so I'll have to turn this on before putting it into the waterproof case. But what I have here is a water camera that I have no fear in losing because the most expensive thing in this is the $13 SD card that's currently inside it. So I consider that a win. We're going to have some fun with this. The mode and button control, it's all push button activated. There's no touch screen, which I actually kind of like. Very basic menu. It seems to function well. It has an internal battery, just like the Hero 7 White. So I just charged it up with the USB B cable. And yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised by this. Actually, the microphone wasn't as bad as I was expecting too. I've heard much worse on things that cost much more. So that's a plus. So that's a win for the art and sound. I wouldn't pay $25 for this, but the clearance price right now is 13. I know we have a couple left. The website has a couple left. So yeah, if you're looking for a cheap camera just to hang around or get a different angle, preferably something that's not going to be like an action cam because you see the motion blur on it. That's to be expected at this price point. But yeah, if you got a camera that you need to put in peerless conditions, well-lit peerless conditions, I'd buy this. Oh, yeah, and one other thing. The menu down here, the little digital readout, that can be shut off. It's default on whenever you power the camera up. I'll have it off for all future recordings with this camera. And speaking of good deals, a buddy of mine, his father-in-law passed away a couple years ago. Basically had wanted to leave something for my buddy and his son. So he had probably close to about $20,000 or $30,000 worth of fishing gear. So my buddy keeps telling me, "Hey, if you need anything, come see me," which is pretty cool. But yeah, he's selling all this stuff for real cheap. He's actually supplying a couple local bait shops too. Those aren't part of it. Those are extra rod holders for my rod pod. But yeah, he ended up selling this whole box of goods to me, including a old Shakespeare bait caster and Sahara 2500 FB, a Shimano spinning reel for $35. And if you take a look at a couple things that you can see in here in focus, we'll discuss this box in detail at a later time, everything that I have. But what I want to try today, I shouldn't say today, it's actually going to be tomorrow morning, is the Whopper Plopper. I've been looking at these for a long time, and this is usually about a $25 lure, at least at current pricing. It might be shooting up due to inflation. Yeah, but he sold it to me for $2.
I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate myself. I hate myself.
So we're up early once again. Up really early once again to get the good spot. You push the lights in and then they decide to go out anyway. Oh well. But yeah, the reason why we're up this early, I noticed something jumping around near the shore. Whenever we were at the Verona dock last week. So I want to throw a plopper out there, whopper plopper out there, and see if my theory is correct. Our other destination, I have some packed bait. It's actually cornmeal, corn, and sardines all mixed in with each other. So we're going to try that and have some fun with our new underwater camera. So let's spend the next few hours out fishing because my name's Jake Workmeister and I love fishing. So I've come to one conclusion. When it's 5 a.m., no one's insane enough to come down here. That's good. And what I'm going to be doing today is some topwater fishing with a lure, only because I saw a lot of topwater activity last time I was here. Obviously, I know this place produces for catfish and carp. I want to see what else it can produce. So yeah, I'll be keeping the nylon leader on. because when you're hunting for predatory fish and you don't use it, bad things happen. That's a wonderful action on there. So I spent the next half hour just casting out aimlessly, looking around and seeing what kind of fish were actually surfacing. It looked like they were mostly small bass, carp, and catfish. Had I stayed there longer, I probably could have gotten something to bite topwater. However, we did have a bigger fish to fry in a different spot, and we had to get there now that the sun was up. Before leaving, I decided to give the swim bait a try, and it's really cool to see how well these lures work in very calm water. Water was also fairly clear, considering the weather conditions that we've been dealing with for the past week. I can't wait to try these lures out at a lake. Okay. That's enough of that. I know if I change baits, this is an area that will produce, but we're going to another place that also produces, and that was our true destination today, because I get to use the underwater camera. Okay, we're at spot 2 today. I needed some sunlight before I could come out here. That right there is where they typically park barges every so often. What's nice about this, usually you have to undercast in order to not lose your bait on the side of the barge. It's real hard to get right underneath that, right beside the barge, but I'm seeing exactly what I want to see already. That's like the 4th fish I've seen jump out since I got here. That's very promising. And the reason why this area produces, because right where those cement pillars are, that's a 10-foot drop off, at least, because a barge needs at least 10 feet of water to float. Actually, I think the minimum is like 8. So yeah, 8 feet or deeper. But looking at the river charts online, it looks like it's actually about 10 feet. So nice deep little drop off for the carps and cats and other species to hide. So after getting my rod set up, I ended up catching a few minnow. So I sent out 2 dough ball on the right hand side and 1 hook with 2 minnow on it. Now it was time to put my little 79-cent camera to the test and send it underwater. This is going to be the maiden voyage of the SS El Cheapo cam. Put you out there. So once the camera was in position, it locked sights on my soon-to-be new nemesis here. I call him Evil Stick. Yeah, I just got this weird feeling with that branch there. The line hanging from the tree. That's going to be trouble if I have to pull a fish in from that area. We'll see. The line was connected to the tree branch above, and below it was tangled on too. So rather than wait for a fish to tangle me around the stick and create a huge disaster, I became proactive about the situation. Used one of my lines and intentionally hooked Evil Stick to get him out of the way. I think what I'm going to do now that I have this is try to keep the hell out of the way. Or at least knock it off of the other. This is also why I love the durability of the Ugly Stick, folks. Okay. See, mine is just barely hanging in there. I think I could get it though. Let's get this stupid thing out of the way. Got it. This is how you be a hero to other fishermen. Oh, look at that. Cool. Looks like 10-pound mono. Come back here, wrap that up in just a second after I get my line out and throw that garbage away. Got what we've been looking for. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's got some fight to it. It's a bass. I swear, I pull more bass out of here than... It's a good bass. All right. Well, the mosquito hooks definitely work. Starting to think this is a really good smallmouth haven too. Thinking back on it, I think I've caught just as many smallmouth bass in this area as I have carp and catfish. So it's a great little multi-species spot. Much of this can be attributed to the rocky beds that support a lot of minnow life, as well as that steep drop-off that invite a variety of species. Now I'm just lingering on this slow motion shot because I can. Because I really like the slow motion shot. And I'm still lingering. Just a little bit more. Okay, that's enough. Thank you for playing along today, sir. Appreciate you more than you'll know. It's a pretty fish. That's the sound of a very large bee chasing me. It took me several seconds to determine what species it was, so that's why the camera work is getting all goofy. Bumblebee, harmless. Going back to the 79-cent camera, I decided to put it on a selfie stick and to see how the light was refracting off of the water today. The location of the sun allowed me to be virtually invisible to the fish underneath, and it showed as I was walking right up to the surface of the water, and they couldn't even see me. So you got one female being pursued by two males. She's been kind of flustered by the whole situation. Been watching them run off and on for a while now. So, mallards pair for life. That's what happens when the after mating, the male loses his genitalia for until the next year. So the bond between them is kind of strong. If I were to take a guess, yep, that's the situation. That's the rival right there. That is the rival. See that? They pair for life. You're not getting in there, dude. Dude, he's gonna cock block you every time. And he don't even have a cock. Maybe there is an advantage in his situation if he's still endowed. But yeah, mallards don't screw around. Should see what happens when a sea... Oh, look at that. Yeah, see, she's in distress because they're mates. And he keeps trying to be the weasel in the hen house, so to speak. No means no, kids. And ducks. So I noticed a weird hit earlier on my line. Went to check it out, and sure enough, there was a fish tangled up, as a matter of fact. It was a catfish that took the hook. Then he wrapped himself in the line and just stood there until I checked the line. And somehow I double hit my GoPro, so that's why I don't have any footage, first-person footage of this. Sorry, he caught me off guard. Didn't have a chance to hit my on button. But yeah, he took the minnow. And then, yeah, go ahead. You're not going to get me. I think I haven't dealt with you guys before. He took the minnow, then just sat there. Then when I'm pulling him in, he kind of wrapped himself in my line a little bit. I'm like, did I snag him? No. What is going on? You're just a baby. Cute little channel. There we go. Funny thing, speaking of trash fish, whenever we were fishing for carp when I was young, this would be considered trash fish. Wasn't until I was older that I realized how wonderful they are in their own right. And it's a big game fish in other places. So, mandatory slow motion shot incoming. Slow motion on a tiny channel cast. Okay, let's get back out there. See you later, buddy. He came back for my minnow trap. So we'll chalk him up in the young and very dumb category.
And speaking of minnow, a few were saying hi to my little 79-cent camera that was still in the water.
Okay, well that's going to do it for me, as the batteries in my other two cameras are dead. The Art and Sound is the only one left remaining. So I can't wait to get this home, see what it did underwater, and have some fun cutting that all together. If you like what I'm doing here, like and subscribe, and until next time, keep on fishing.